Anyways, how's it going, guys? Hope you had a good weekend. I'm trying to do a video every single day. If you guys that are following me really close realize I'm trying to put one up every day. So the last video you saw, we were showing you how to make a good margarita. Some of you agreed, most of you agreed, some of you didn't. That's okay. I like to show you what I like to drink. I like to pass stuff along. So today what I want to pass along is just the good old remember when again. So many of you wrote in with some good tips, and some of you wrote into some my Facebook and even to my Hotmail personally and said, Rick, God, you put a smile on my face because we need stuff like this in these times in this world. And well, you got to remember this stuff. You got to remember when. And some of you made some really good points. And anyway, you know, today's remember when is about, because we're car people, I don't necessarily remember when. I was born too early in life. I live in the 50s. No, I was not born in the 50s or the 60s, so there you go. But I lived for those days. All my friends were born then. Some way before. A lot of my friends actually were born like in the 40s. So they remember all this stuff. And I listen to their stories, and I listen to every detail, and it's like their stories are like just in me. They're inside of me. It's like that's who I am. We're car people, so let's talk about cars. You know, I mean, today you get cars, they all look alike. You can't tell an import from a domestic, and let's just forget about the import cars, because even back as far as I'm going to go back, I mean, you didn't see many import cars. It was domestic cars, right? And, you know, I remember, you know, I remember when, not necessarily me, like I say, but I remember when, you know, it was a huge deal every year when cars were going to bring out the new model year. Literally, whether you people believe this or not, a lot of you are from that time, so you do know know it's not bullshit, and some of you just think I'm rambling on here, but the family actually made it an outing to go down to the car dealership, because they said on this date, it was usually like, we'll say the new cars, like if a 1955 Chev was coming out, it would come out like in November or November, October or something of 54. It came up before, and it was a big thing. And car lots then had the big showroom windows. A lot of them had the turntable displays. And they'd open up them curtains, and everyone would be standing outside, because they would say, today down here at Duica Marine, we'll say, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, we're going to be revealing the latest and greatest 55 Chevy. And they'd open them curtains up, and there it would be. There it would be. Didn't look anything like the 54. Didn't at all. Gorgeous cars. And I'm not just particularly saying the Chevys. All them cars back then, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, doesn't matter. They all had their own style. When they came down the road and you saw them coming, you knew what you saw was coming, unless you weren't a car person. The chrome work, the curve, look at me talking like it's a woman. The curves, the lines, the style lines, everything. You know, I mean, some of the cars, as they got older in the years, they had the big antennas coming off the quarter panels. You had spotlights if you wanted them, fender skirts. You could order the power pack engines. Big deal to have an automatic. Like, automatics were just unheard of. When you went to get your license back in the early days, if you took your license on an automatic car, your license said you could only drive an automatic. If you took your license on a standard, you could drive standard or automatic. That's how it was. That's how it was. And I'm sure everyone's going to write stories here today about other things, which I love. I read them. The stories, I love them. You know, I can't sit here and rattle off every single thing, or else this video would go on forever and ever. But like I say, you had the spotlights. You had the chrome that was real chrome. It wasn't plastic chrome. It was real chrome. Cars had hubcaps back then. Chrome wheels, like I said, chrome wheels were a novelty that you bought later, and you didn't have many to choose from. And now every car out there has chrome wheels on it, and it kind of takes away when you do buy a chrome wheel for your car, because it's like, well, you know, like most people nowadays think every car has chrome wheels. Most people don't even know what a fucking hubcap is anymore. So you had the spotlights, like I say, you had the fender skirts. You know, you had the Wonder Bar radio. There was radios in cars, but Chevy brought out this Wonder Bar radio. It was a better radio than your plain old radio. You could get all sorts of, you could have your back defrost for your window was like a fan that they put in the package tray that would just blow air. on the window. That was your defrost. You never had them heated strips and lines like you do today in cars, and you never had the heated seats. Power windows and power seats, yes, they were around back in the day, but a really, really rare option. Very, very rarely did someone get them. Just didn't. You know, the V8 engine, when you got into, I mean, V8s were into Fords, obviously, 32 and up, Fords had V8, but for Chevy, you know, in 55, the little 265 V8 came out. Ford, I think it was 1951 was the first year, the Ford-O-Matic, they called it an automatic, oh God, big old cast power glide tranny, just like the Chevys had. Useless bloody things. I mean, they worked, don't get me wrong, they worked, but they were useless. The Standard was way more performance off the line than the automatics. Wide white wall tires. Oh, you could get the wide white walls. Just gorgeous. Dual exhaust. 4-barrel carburetor. Tinted glass was an option. A cigarette lighter was an option. Some cars, it was an option to have another visor. A lot of vehicles, especially trucks, only came with a visor on the driver's side. A truck was a working man's vehicle. Trucks aren't what they are today. Trucks today are like meant to haul stuff, but also meant to take the family out for dinner. Where back then, a truck was just a single cab, jump in it, let's go to the dump, let's go camping, let's move what we gotta move. A truck was a working vehicle. Working vehicle. Ah, God, where else can we go here with these things? There's just so much to tell you about. I mean, posi traction rear end, that was an option. I already said power steering, power brakes, air conditioning. And the air conditioning in those years, big, huge things just hanging there. Oh, even the power steering and the power brakes, like, oh my God. Cars were running on generators, not alternators. You know, they started out with 6 volt, then it went to 12 volt. Oh, the wiring in cars. You know, I mean, it was, a lot of the wiring was cloth wiring. All these, and now they're reproducing it. It's really cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. You can buy it. I think Speedway Motors might have it, something like that. But the old cloth wiring, like the old Ford shoeboxes had the wiring. It was like, it wasn't like vinyl. It was like yellow, and it was like cloth, and there was red, green. They were still color coded, but they were just so cool looking. Oh my God. Sun visors. You could get visors on the front of your windshield. Oh, let's think about all this stuff here together, guys. It's just unbelievable. That's the problem. I start to do these videos and I get all these things going in my mind before I turn this camera on, and then I start to forget it as I get going. And then you guys write in your stories and you tell me about stuff, and I love it. My 55 Chevy, I got the bill of sale for it. It actually said that even back then, antifreeze was an option. It had shade light glass. All the glass was tinted blue in my 55. It's all factory tinted blue. You don't see blue glass anymore. And I don't mean just a stripe above the windshield. The whole glass in my 55 Chevy is all factory tinted. Yeah. Oh, what else have we got out there going on with these cars? I know some of you guys are going to say stuff and get me going. I mean, obviously you had your 2-door sedans. You had your 2-door hardtops. You had your 4-doors. You had your wagons. Wagons. When wagons came out, Chevy brought out a Nomad wagon. It was almost like the man, they kind of advertised it as he had a wife and children, and he wanted to have the sporty 2-door car, but he couldn't have it because he had a wife and kids, and they did traveling, or they just had to go get groceries and all that. So they brought out a wagon, a Nomad wagon that had all the extra bells, whistles, chrome, everything, and it was a 2-door. Gorgeous. So it was a compromise between the man and the wife. Unbelievable. When you're driving down the road at night, you saw them cars coming, you know, the headlights, they had this dimmy glow, this haze to them. Where today, these new cars come at you and you're so bloody blinded. You can't even see. Oh my God, it's unbelievable out there what they're like that. And they're all plastic today, and I don't know, they just aren't the same. You know, I'm not knocking new cars. New cars are great. I mean, let's face it, you know, they're getting huge horsepower today and using very little fuel economy, you know, but there's just something about the old cars. The lines, everything about them. I mean, Chevy, on some of the Chevys and that, they used to hide the gas filler. Like on a 57 Chevy, you'd open the tail light up. And that's same with the 56 Chevy. You fill your gas in there. And again, I just said, the 55 Chevy came out. You're waiting down there to see the brand new model come out. Well, guess what? When 56 came out, again, it was a whole new car again. Every year they changed. They looked different. And they got better and better and better. Everything just became better as cars went on. Just in the dashboards big and chrome and designed, and I mean, you'd never want to hit one of those head on with your face. And yes, you could, because seatbelts are an option back then. Seatbelts are an option. And today, when you drive these old cars, if you get pulled over by the law, Johnny Lawman, I know, I've been stopped lots of times, they say you're not wearing your seatbelt. Didn't come with seatbelts. It's an option, officer. It's an option. Didn't come with them. So as long as they're not in there, I don't have to wear them. And it's true. But if I take my car and put them in, then I have to wear them. So it was an option. Just the things that were just, oh my God. Clocks. A clock in a car was an option. Some of the Cadillacs and stuff like that, they actually had it, believe it or not. And you could buy it as an aftermarket accessories too. GM made it and Ford made it. All they made it. I got some out in the shop there in packages, unopened, brand new. Where they had a thing that actually sat up on the dash, and it would realize when it got dim out, and it would turn your headlights on automatically. So see, there's some of this stuff on newer cars was around back then too. It was around. It just very cool. So cool. And just, you know, the showrooms were magnificent back then. And the way they did the car lots even. Just all that, they used to have all these triangle color flags hanging down and balloons, and it was a huge deal. Like, oh my God, like going to a car lot was like unbelievable. You know, and I mean, I don't know, today you go to a car lot, and I mean, I guess they're still okay, but like I say, every car looks the same. You know, and the colors you could pick then. Oh, the colors were just, mind you, I will admit today, the paint colors are just amazing. Oh my God. Paint has come such a long ways, but it's also shot through the roof on price. I mean, there was gorgeous colors back in the day, but there's even better colors today. I hate to say it, but there's just better colors today. But the prices are through the roof. The metallics and the pearls and everything. So you never had pearls back then. You had metallics. A lot of people just had straight colors. Their cars were like pink or baby blue or green or white, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, but cars had color then. Where today you go into a car lot, I guess what I'm getting at here is you go in a car lot today, most cars now, the majority of cars, look next time you're driving around town, the majority of cars out there you will see driving are white and silver. White and silver is what you mainly see. That wasn't like that back in the day. The cars had so many colors and gorgeous colors. You could order different paint schemes, you could order this, you could order that, you could get so many bolt-on accessories. Lake pipes, you know, you go down and get your car pinstriped. You could just do so much stuff, and you can still do that today, I guess, if you like, but it wouldn't suit these modern cars. Just, yeah, I mean, even the mufflers back then, glass packs, you know, deep tone Hollywoods. They had all these wild names for them. Smitties, you know, just all, oh my God. And even the mufflers were cool. Even the mufflers were in color. You know, there was the glass pack with the thrush on it, Mr. Horsepower. They were like a dark blue. You know, Smitties were light blue. Oh, Hollywood, the Hollywoods. I got a pair of Hollywoods out there. They were red with striping, and it had fancy lettering that said Hollywood. It looked like it could have been in a movie. Seriously, I'll have to. Next time I do a video, I'll walk you guys around the shop and show you some of my collectibles. I got so many, it's unbelievable. And no, I will not sell them, so don't ask. Okay. They make me feel good. They make me feel good. But I wanted to reminisce a little bit about cars. I didn't hit every point here, but you guys know where I'm going with it. Just the cars were such a beautiful thing. Just unbelievable back then, you know. It was just, it was different. It's different. Good, solid steel metal cars. You know, you can lean up against a car and it didn't go dink, dink. Now, I'm not saying today's cars aren't solid. Today's cars are pretty good. You look at some of these cars, the frames they got under some of the trucks and that, and the way they're built, you know, to put better bracing in and everything. They're a pretty solid vehicle if you hit them head on, where some of the older ones, believe it or not, they weren't the best thing to get hit head on in. I mean, look at this Mustang I'm working on. I showed you the back end of that. Look at, not a very strong car in the back. So we've come a long ways in that sense. We've just lost our design. We've lost our design. It's just gone. It's all about aerodynamics and getting better fuel mileage and making it look better and all that. And that's where it's gone. And it's kind of a shame, but I guess we got to do what we got to do. But with that being said, let's not get on a downer. Let's remember the good times. Let's remember the hot rod cars. Let's remember it all. Let's remember, it's always a good time at Old Time. We'll see you next time, and happy Monday to all of you.